everyone, Stoutman coming back at you once again. Actually, one of the last few times that I'll be coming at you from this setup here, as things are about to change, but I will tell you about that in a future video. This video is going to be all about some creepy, spooky pickups that I recently got from goHastings. So, yeah, that ought to be pretty fun if I do say so myself. I'm going to start off with the truly terrifying bits first. So, usually titles like this are actually kind of hard to come by. They're pretty expensive typically because of, you know, the holiday that they're associated with, Halloween, you know. So, of course, when I saw this, normally goes for like, you know, 2, 3, 4, even 5 times the price. I just had to pick it up for about $3. I found myself Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and you know this movie is fucking scary. I mean, they got the Burgermeister Meisterburger. So yeah, of course this isn't a Halloween movie, it's not a scary movie, I'm just fucking around. But it is true that associated with the Christmas holiday, most Christmas movies on Blu-ray never really go down in price that much. And this one in particular, I don't really see going for that low new. So when I found it on goHastings used for like $3, I was like, I'm never going to see that price again. So yeah, $3. Let's do it. Next up, we have yet another terrifyingly spooky comedy movie starring Eddie Murphy. It's Coming to America. There's nothing scary about it. It's just, you know, good old-fashioned comedy. And yeah, I actually really like this movie. It's not like one of my favorite movies or anything, but I figured since I got Trading Spaces last time, maybe I should get Coming to America this time. And well, there you have it, right there. Next up, what many consider to be a terrifyingly horrible movie, Blues Brothers 2000. I don't know if you figured it out yet, but these movies at least are not really scary, they're not really horror movies, they're just, you know, movies that I picked up that have nothing at all to do with Halloween. And I suckered you into watching this video because you thought it was going to be Halloween or horror movie related. There are actually horror movies after this. Like that's the thing. That's the big joke, is that people are going to stop watching now because, like, motherfucker. And the reality is I got 3 movies that weren't horror movies, and I figured I'd show them off first and kind of troll everybody. Anyways, Blues Brothers 2000, a lot of people don't like it. I actually have an affinity for this movie. I really like it. I feel like it's a proper sequel to the Blues Brothers, and I already have the Blues Brothers on Blu-ray, so of course I gotta have my Blues Brothers 2000. Gotta have that double bill, y'all. So yeah, I especially like that they got John Goodman to play the secondary character there. Very fucking cool. Very cool. So yeah, Blues Brothers 2000. Funny. Good movie. Now then, let us get into the spooky stuff. The sci-fi / horror kind of stuff. Next up here we have Odd Thomas. Now, Odd Thomas is kind of a movie in the vein of, like, you know, Supernatural. If anybody's familiar with Supernatural, it very much feels like a Supernatural kind of story to it. If it's also kind of like The Frighteners in a lot of ways. So, you know, that's another reason that I like it, and I got it along with The Frighteners, so, you know, perfect little combination here. I got this from Amazon for $6.96, and it's really quite a good movie. I watched it for the first time on Netflix, and yeah, I didn't know what to think about it. I didn't know if I would like it, but I was pleasantly surprised. This is actually a really good movie. It's funny. It's got the whole comedy, what would we call it? A dramedy? It's like a romantic comedy, essentially a rom-com in certain aspects. But then in other aspects, it's very much along the same lines as Frighteners, where, you know, I see dead people kind of stuff going on, and it doesn't take necessarily the creepy approach to it. It takes the kind of what the fuckery, funny comedy kind of approach to it. And I really like that about Odd Thomas. I like movies like that, and this is definitely a good example of a movie like that. So, yeah. Next up, we have a movie that came brand new, factory sealed, even though I ordered it used. Would be the Blair Witch Project. This was about $4 or so. This is really the one that kind of started all the hype for the, for most of you know, started all the hype for the found footage genre or subgenre. And if you know me, and you know the kind of stuff that I watch, then you know that I fucking love found footage movies. They're just so much fun. I love them so much. So, yeah. Very glad to finally have this in my collection. Don't know if it's necessary to have it on Blu-ray because it was shot standard def. So, it isn't necessarily going to look better on Blu-ray just because it's high definition. You know, it's a standard def source, so bumping that up to 1080p, as you can see from the quality of my videos, does not always do very much. So like a lot of my gameplay videos are not shot in 1080p. I don't like record them in 1080p because my computer can't really handle it. So, you know, I don't record them in 1080p, but then when I'm editing the video, I bump it up to 1080p simply because it's easier for me to do it that way than to have to, you know, bump it back down every single time that I'm doing a video like that. So, I take the lazy way out and I just make those 1080p, even though they're lower quality. And that doesn't always result in really good quality, but it, you know, does the trick, I guess I would say. And those take so long to render that I don't even want to bother with doing anything else. So, yeah. Anyways, kind of a rant there, a tangent about my gameplay videos. But the point is that, you know, putting a standard def movie in high definition doesn't always guarantee that it's going to look better. And it wasn't really about getting something that looks better. It was about getting the best quality movie that I could, the best quality version of this movie that I could get for the lowest price. And if that meant that I found the DVD in a pawn shop for $1, awesome. But I didn't find it in a pawn shop for $1. I found this for about $4, and I figured $4 for this Blu-ray, not a bad deal, even though it probably doesn't look any better than the fucking DVD. You know, like, just all there is to it. I will say this though, Blu-ray tends to handle blacks a lot better than DVDs do. So, and there's a lot of night scenes in this movie that, you know, it's important to be able to see a little bit better in. So maybe this will help, maybe it won't, I don't know. All I do know is I'm glad to finally have this in my collection. It's been a long time coming. Speaking of movies that I got used, I ordered used, but actually came brand new factory sealed. I picked up I Am Legend here finally. This one, well, it's been low in price on Blu-ray for a long time, and I just didn't pick it up until now because I was thinking about getting like the ultra special deluxe edition of it, but I ultimately decided, fuck it, I'm just going to get this basic edition because it's cheap and I want it. So, yeah, this is like the second or third telling of this story on film. This one is starring Will Smith, and a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people don't like the CGI elements. A lot of people don't like the way that the vampires in the film are portrayed. Vampires slash zombie. Yeah. A lot of people don't like the way that all that is done, but I actually do like it. I think it's pretty damn cool. I think it's pretty good. I don't think it's the best thing I've ever seen, but it's pretty damn good. And for about $4 or $5, not a bad deal. So I don't regret a damn thing there. Last but not least is 12 Monkeys, which isn't really a horror movie per se, but it's kind of got a few horror elements in there. Mostly sci-fi. You got Terry Gilliam here doing arguably one of his best films. And just, I absolutely love this movie. They're just, I've seen it so many times on a lazy Sunday afternoon on Sci-Fi Channel, you know what I mean? It's just, it's one of those movies that, you know, you saw all the time back in the day on cable television randomly, and yeah, you couldn't stop yourself. You had to, you stopped clicking the button on the remote and you just sat and watched it, because this movie is very engrossing. So yeah, I love it. Been a long time since I've seen it, so it'll be good to revisit it in high definition here. Again, it was about $4, something like that, so, you know, not a bad deal. Unfortunately, there was another title, a horror kind of title, that I picked up alongside these in my latest haul here from goHastings. But for the first time ever, it was just not good. It was an unacceptable quality that I received. So the best way I can put it is that the Blu-ray looked like it had been thrown into raw sewage and allowed to dry out, and then placed into a quality sealed bag, meaning like quality guaranteed is written on the bag, and then shipped out to me. Like, they waited for it to dry out, kept it looking like complete dog shit, literal dog shit, and put it in the fucking bag, and then put it in the shipment, and then sent it to me. Because it was not wet, nothing else in the package got wet, it was just that particular Blu-ray, and it was just the worst fucking quality of Blu-ray I'd ever seen. It was just absolutely fucking unacceptable. So I wrote them about it. I wrote them an email and said, this is unacceptable, I cannot take this, I want my money back. And they agreed, and they gave me my money back. So again, no real problems from goHastings. And like I said, I mean, sometimes that kind of stuff happens to you, but then other times, like with these two movies, which came new when I ordered them used, you get lucky. You know, it's very random, but sometimes you get lucky, and that's cool. But ultimately, most of the stuff I find that I get from goHastings is very good quality. It's either very good quality or decent quality. And that was really the first time I'd ever experienced, any time at all, ever getting a Blu-ray from them that looked like complete and total dog shit. So, you know, one time out of fucking hundreds of times that I've visited the actual store or bought things from goHastings, I mean, come on. One bad experience isn't going to sour me on a company, you know what I mean? At worst case scenario, a disgruntled employee was being a dick. I don't fucking care. All I care about is that I got my refund on that. I got my money back for that product. And I got a bunch of pretty awesome Blu-rays other than that one. So, yeah, pretty cool. Pretty nice. Some of them were brand new. Anyways, that will do it for today. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. Peace!